Instead, they're rallying behind Congresswoman Elise Stefanik.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. Now, it's a week where a miracle happened. After a piece on the need for workers as businesses reopen.
Look, with the end of the pandemic in sight, we're all ready to travel, right? And as you get ready to travel, you're going to find that some bars, restaurants, and hotels are having a hard time finding workers.
CBS's Gayle King realized that big government might be causing a problem. It was truly a magical moment.
Yeah, no.
But guys, if the unemployment benefits, you get more staying home than if you get a job. Well, what is the incentive to go get a job?
But as soon as the thought was said out loud, Anthony Mason stepped right on in to kill it.
Yeah, no.
But guys, if the unemployment benefits, you get more staying home than if you get a job. Well, what is the incentive to go get a job?
Well, that was the complaint to some degree about the stimulus package, was that people getting these checks were going to be less but I don't buy that.
No, we speak not of such things. Don't have thoughts against the leftist narrative. Sadly, that was the only thought King had for the entire week, and it was quickly crushed. But another miracle happened at ABC on Good Morning America, as they actually covered the border crisis this week. I mean, I know they admitted it was a crisis. Did they focus on Biden's failed border policy? Did they examine the human trafficking? Did they investigate the thousands flooding the border, causing communities to declare states of emergency? I mean, there's so many angles. Which did they take?
Now to the latest on the crisis at the border and another family reunion. Tears of joy as a mother from Honduras is reunited with a teenage son she has not seen in more than 3 years. Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega has their story for us. Good morning, Cecilia.
That's their crisis coverage at the border. I don't know. I think I feel a little push of a narrative there, but then again, that's all they do. At CNN, they went wall to wall touting that the conservative media was responsible for spreading conspiracy theories on COVID.
The people who got more of their news from conservative media and from social media were also more likely to believe conspiracy theories about the coronavirus. We're joined now by Kathleen Hall Jamieson, who is the co-author of the study and the director of Annenberg Public Policy Center at the University of Pennsylvania. This is fascinating.
Is it really? Let's see what is the only example of a COVID conspiracy theory that they discuss.
For example, on the origins of the virus, how do we know it's not bioengineered? That's what the conspiracy theory says. China bioengineered it.
Ah, yes, it's a conspiracy that COVID came from a Chinese lab. Darn all those conservative news outlets for discussing that possibility.
So Dr. Robert Redfield, the former CDC director, is speaking out for the first time, saying publicly where he believes the coronavirus that caused the pandemic came from. These extraordinary comments come in a new interview for a CNN documentary airing this weekend. Dr. Sanjay Gupta joins us now. And Sanjay, Dr. Redfield says he's giving his opinion, but I have to say, I think you're about to break some pretty significant news here.
Yeah, I mean, this was extraordinary, John.
Oh, I wonder why they didn't mention their own coverage. It's only the conservatives that get blamed. CNN's New Day, brought to you by USAA. Give them a call and tell them that they should ensure that they advertise elsewhere. The leftist media just hate the GOP so much that sometimes this week they couldn't even say their names.
Instead, they're rallying behind Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. And this is an interesting choice here.
Who?
Elise Stefanik.
I don't think that's the way you say Stefanik. It sounds a little vulgar the way you're saying it. But, you know, this is the leftist media who gets all upset if someone says Kamala incorrectly.
Kamala, Mala. You think he doesn't know how to say the name? Or, you know, they got funny names, Van. They got funny names. They.
No, it's disgusting.
Well, of course, that depends on who says it incorrectly.
I told him I wanted to be the last person in the room before he made important decisions. That's what I asked Kamala.
Oh, did Joe Biden just say something incorrect? That's surprising. That never happens. But just imagine the outrage if a cable news operation called our vice president a piece of crap. But, you know, it's okay to call a congresswoman that, as long as they have an R after their name.
Either way, crap is crap. And it is the best reflection of where the GOP is right now, is they are about to knock out a principal woman for crap. And I think we need to be honest about what it is. Donald Trump brought the gold toilet into the RNC, into the party, and everyone thinks it's a pool. And they're just diving in.
And
they're just diving in.
But I mean, Eugene, they're diving in, and the poop toilet is full. It's not like they're diving in and it's empty.
Well, not as empty as Joy Reid's head is, but this is the Leftist Media, where hosts and guests spew hate-filled verbal feces all day long. A place where Republicans are terrorists.
I've been thinking to myself this whole time, Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden, the Taliban, the people who wanted to do harm to our nation and to our way of life and our democracy, they got nothing on what this Republican Party is doing.
And if you disagree with the leftist media or big tech or woke corporations, well, you're just stupid. These elitists, they know better.
Corporations that flagrantly misrepresent efforts to protect our elections need to be called out, singled out, and cut off. To them, I say, when the time comes that you need help with a tax break or a regulatory change, I hope the Democrats take your calls, because we may not. Joining me now is CNN White House correspondent John Harwood.
He is then going on to say, because you are doing this, you woke corporations, and of course corporations are simply recognizing the reality here. People who work for these big corporations tend to be better educated, more diverse than the people that Ted Cruz is trying to mislead with this argument.
I think we all know who the misleading, insulting racists really are, don't we?
So many contradictions in the senator's speech that it was clear not even Scott believed the words he was speaking. I could go into great detail refuting each of his asinine points, but he did that for me. And moreover, a lesson I've learned: don't argue with people Harriet Tubman would have left behind. And sure, Tim Scott has spoken out about his encounters with law enforcement, and he co-sponsored the anti-lynching bill in the Senate. But there are two sides to every token.
Wow, a token. Compared to the whopping 2 black senators that are Democrats. That party of Jim Crow, slavery, and a history including voting against the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. But hey, they never mentioned that. That's all the time we have. I'm Eric Shiner for MRCTV, asking you to visit the MRC Store. There's some great gear there. Check it out. MRCTV.org has the latest blogs, videos, and entertainment that you want to see. Please like, share, and subscribe to these videos on the many social media platforms available to you. Now, we're going to be taking a break to work on a special project. We'll have more on that coming up later, but we will return with more leftist media insanity in just a few weeks.